Welcome to another edition of Rogues Gallery, where we rank the best of the worst villains according to your votes. This week we're looking at the world's first super team, the Justice Society of America, and just missing out on the top spot this week were Gog, the Sportsmaster, and Mordru. Let's start the countdown. Number 10, Psycho Pirate. Roger Hayden learned of the secret of the Medusa mask with the original Psycho Pirate, and upon release discovered the artifacts. Addicted to manipulating and draining people of emotion, Hayden became the second Psycho Pirate and played a key role in the Crisis on Infinite Earths as an accomplice to the Anti-Monitor, and is the only person to remember how the world was after its conclusion. Number 9, Gentleman Ghost. James Craddock was a notorious English highwayman who crossed the Atlantic and ran afoul of the cowboy Nighthawk, who had Craddock hanged for a crime he didn't commit. Cursed to wander the earth until the souls of his killers move on to the next plane of existence, he's stuck on Earth forever thanks to Nighthawk and Cinnamon, who you might know more commonly as the previous incarnation of Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Number 8, Johnny Sorrow. Johnny Sorrow was a villain defeated by the JSA in the 40s, who came back for revenge in the new millennium. Trapped in the subtle realm for decades, Sorrow returned with a plan to free his Lovecraftian god known as the King of Tears, who gave the villain a new physical form with a face so deadly to the viewer that Sorrow is forced to wear that floating red mask. Number 7, Senator Joseph McCarthy. The first of two real-life villains on this list, Senator Joseph McCarthy was famous for leading witch hunts against suspected communists in the 1950s. His fear-mongering led to the JSA being forced to appear in front of the House of Un-American Activities Committee, which led to the team choosing to disband rather than unmask and risk the lives of their loved ones. Number 6, Solomon Grundy. Grundy is an immortal swamp monster that can be killed, but will always rise again from the earth which spawned him. Some incarnations of Grundy have been good-natured and even heroic, but mostly he is a hulking villain of little intelligence and has a hatred for the Justice Society. Number 5, Adolf Hitler. The Justice Society was formed in the 1940s by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt to aid in the fight against Hitler's Nazi Germany. The team was able to save England from an occult Nazi threat, but Roosevelt was assassinated by a German Valkyrie. It was only through the Spectres pleading with God to resurrect the president that history transpired as we know it. Number 4, Black Adam. Teth Adam was the champion of Shazam during the reign of Prince Khufu of Egypt, but was driven mad by the death of his family and imprisoned inside a mystical scarab. He was resurrected in the body of an ancestor in the modern age, and proved to be both one of the JSA's most loyal members and also one of its deadliest foes. Number 3, Degaton. Degaton was part of a Nazi think tank to develop time travel, and after the war worked with his mentor to perfect the technology and stole it for himself. He attempted to change the course of history to make himself the world's ruler, but was stopped by the Justice Society of America, who changed everything back to how it should be. He later attempted to take on the GSA with a team of supervillains pulled from throughout the timeline, and later joined the Injustice Society of the World, and was partly responsible for the JSA being tried for treason, which led to their initial disbanding. Degaton resurfaced multiple times during the 21st century, once again to attempt to wipe the JSA from history. He teamed up with other time-traveling supervillains as part of the Time Stealers, who regularly battled Booster Gold and Rip Hunter, and later battled the JSA All-Stars as the omnipotent Prime Degaton. Number 2, the Ultra Humanite. Gerard Shougo was originally a mad scientist paralyzed from the waist down, and Superman's archenemy before the debut of Lex Luthor. One of his most notorious schemes was when he transplanted his consciousness into the body of an aging actress named Dolores Winters, and remained in that body for the rest of the Golden Age. Later, as he became a villain for the Justice League and Justice Society of America, he transferred his consciousness into an albino ape to prove more of a physical threat to the heroes. He later took over the body of the aging Johnny Thunder and convinced Hakeem Thunder to relinquish the all-powerful Thunderbolt back to its original wielder. With the power to remake the world however he saw fit, he turned himself into the ruler of the world, with every inhabitant an extension of his mind and consciousness. And number 1, Vandal Savage. In the year 50,000 BC, Vander Adge was the leader of a tribe of Cro-Magnon cavemen, and was exposed to a mysterious meteorite which granted him intelligence and immortality. Over the years, he has claimed to have been Alexander the Great, Blackbeard, and Jack the Ripper, among many other notorious leaders and criminals throughout time. After battling Green Lantern in the 40s, Savage took his revenge on Alan Scott's teammates in the Justice Society, but was defeated by the Flash of Earth 1. He has been known to work in teams on occasion, including the Injustice Society and the Secret Society of Supervillains. Over the years, Savage has become more of an all-purpose DC Universe villain, clashing with the Flash family, the Justice League, and even the likes of Resurrection Man. His daughter Scandal Savage helped form the semi-heroic Secret Six, and during Darkseid's takeover of Earth, it was discovered that Savage bore the mark of Cain, history's first murderer. That's it for this week's Rogues Gallery. Keep an eye on Comics Alliance to have your say in the latest polls.